Hello, this is Garrett from Heisenware, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to connect to a local OPC UA server using the Heisenware agent, reading data from that OPC UA server, visualizing, recording it, and then visualizing the recorded data. To start, I'm showing you my setup. I'm using the OPC UA simulation server from Process in the free edition. You can use it as long as you don't use it in production environments for free. Okay, this is running on my computer. It offers a couple of simulated data points, a counter and a random integer, for example. And these are the two we are going to use later in that video. And in Heisenware, I've already created a OPC UA demo video app, which is the app we are going to build together now. I'm opening the app, and in here, I first of all create an agent that connects to the OPC UA server locally. So in order to do so, I open the agent menu. I select OPC UA client because my agent should be able to connect to the server. So it must be a client. And this target OS is a Windows machine because I'm using a Windows machine in this example. So then I click submit, and now it takes a couple of minutes to actually build the agent that can then be deployed on the Windows machine where the OPC UA server is running, or in the same network, basically. And this takes a little moment, and then the download starts automatically. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, as you have seen, the download has now started because the agent is ready. And I will open my downloads folder, and here you find this zip file that I can open or basically need to extract, which takes a little moment as it's quite big. Okay, done. And in here, there is a .exe, which we can start and confirm that we trust this one. And now it's starting. It takes a short moment. There it is. And as you can see, it connects to demo.heisenware.cloud via port 8883, which is MQTT. And now I show you in the App Manager, in the Integrations tab here, the agent. So it's called Edge Connector. This is the old name for it, but it's now an agent, and it's online, indicated by the green signal. Good. And in the App Builder, it has appeared too, so you can use it now. So you see there is the OPC UA client. And first, we need to create an instance that we can then use to connect to the OPC UA server. I call the instance, I don't know, just call it Garrett OPC UA. Okay, and here it is. And in here, we have a connect function. I will use the connect function to connect to the OPC UA server. First, need to copy the connection address to the clipboard, enter it here, and I could enter a user identity here, but it's not required in this case because the server is not configured like this. Now it's connected. Now something very important we have to keep in mind is the connection is established in the app builder now, but later when the app starts, it needs to be established too. So that's why we configure this trigger to once on deploy. So when the app is deployed, we connect to the OPC UA server. Let's move on. We have a browse objects function. So we can browse and see which objects we actually have on our OPC UA server. And there's a couple of different things. And there's one which is called simulation. And I will use the simulation pass in order to see what we can find in simulation. And here you can find sinusoid, random, sawtooth, all the stuff that you can also find in the original OPC UA server. Yeah, it's all in here. Okay, let's put it aside for a second and move on with the read variable. So I will start with the counter because it's a very good example. It has this node ID, enter it into read variable and read the variable. This is basically a pull request, if you want, to the OPC UA server. However, OPC UA also supports subscriptions, so I can use monitor variable to subscribe to a node ID. So get rid of this one again, which is way nicer, as you will see later. Enter it here. And the question is, when does the subscription start? And I want it to start when the connection is established. So I'm taking the output here of the connection, of the connect function, and make it the trigger of the monitor variable, and say when the connection is true, so when the connection is established, then please start to subscribe. And then I would like to visualize the counter value in a linear gauge. Obviously I could use other visualizations, but I will use a linear gauge now. I know that the counter goes from 0 to 30, so I configure it a little bit like this. Maybe change the indicator to not to a range bar, but to a triangle marker. Make it red, make it bigger. Also change the intervals a little bit. Okay, so let's say this is my visualization, and then I can simply connect this guy to the visualization, because later we will see the subscribed, or the value that we've subscribed to in this box, so that we need to connect it. Let's move on. The other thing I want to show you is reading. Oh, you know what? I will show you this one as the first step already in the deployed app. So let me quickly add a logo here. So make it a bit smaller, and then see how it looks like on the laptop screen, because I'm using a laptop here, or a desktop. I don't know, doesn't really matter that much. And see if it works, So I deploy and open the app, and now it should connect to the OPC UA server and register the subscription. And as you can see, it works. And I will open the OPC UA server next to it, and which it's the counter. It's 27, 28, 29, 30, and back to 0. So it's exactly what the OPC UA server is simulating, shown in this app. Okay, I will close it for a second and move on, because in the second example, I would like to show you the read variable, and I will show you how to record data. For this example, I will use the random. Just copy the node ID here, enter it. Yeah, it gives me a random integer or number between maybe something like -2 and +2, I think. No, it's plus. Okay, let us map this one to another range. Just to show how it works, there is a basic function which is called map range, and it can map one range to the other. So I will connect this one as the value here, and say whenever the value changes, trigger the map range. And map range has some options we need to enter: original minimum and original maximum, new minimum and new maximum. So the original minimum is something like -2, the original maximum is 2, new min is 0, and the new max is 100. So we're mapping the -2 to 2 to a range which is something between 0 and 100. Now the question is, how often do we do it? And we could say, for example, every 2 seconds. So now we're reading every 2 seconds the variable, mapping it to a range. In the test mode, I can also show you how it looks like. There you go. And now also the subscription started here in the app builder. Good. And now let's record the data. And for that, I will add the recorder here. The recorder is basically a way to add a measurement to the internal InfluxDB. So I could say, for example, 1 hour. Retention policy is 1 hour, and call it temp1. Let's say it's a temperature between 0 and 100. Just an example. And starting the test mode, it starts now to record data into our internal influx with the measurement called temp1. Now the question is how to read that data, and for that we have the time series database internal influx read function, which we need to configure with a bucket first. The bucket is the hour. The measurement is called temp1, and there's several options available. I like the option tail 10, so it gives us 10 values. Just 4 in this case because we don't have 10 values yet, but trust me on that. It gives you 10 values. Yeah, now it's a bit more. Okay, and we want to trigger this one let's say every second. But this doesn't make sense because we have data points every 2 seconds. So let's also do it every 2 seconds. And visualize this one in a chart. So second page to our app. Now we have 2 pages. First page is the counter, and the second page is the temperature curve. Show you why. Using a chart, connecting the data to the chart, and start test mode, see how it works. Yeah, every 2 seconds, new data for our chart. I won't configure anything here because it's mainly about OPC UA. I will just make it a bit bigger on a laptop and say deploy. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure what happens to our monitor variable, but we'll see in a second. No, it works fine. So we're still monitoring the counter. So 14, 15, 17, and so on. And the other one that we are looking at is in our temperature curve. So it updates every 2 seconds with a value with the values from the InfluxDB. Here we can't really look at the original data anymore because we have mapped it to another range, so it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's definitely working. Okay, that's actually it. Quick recap. So first of all, we have downloaded an agent with OPC UA client functionality. I have started this agent on my Windows machine. You can see it here. So there's a lot of traffic happening now. And then we have created the instance connected to the OPC UA server, established, or first of all, have browsed for all the available node IDs. Then we have established a subscription. And then we have used the read variable to read the random integer. We have mapped the random integer to a new range, and then recorded it into our internal InfluxDB. And then we're using the read from InfluxDB function in order to visualize the recorded data in a chart. Yeah, and this is all in something like 10 minutes, I guess. Of course, we have also deployed the app. So that is it for today. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to try it yourself, reach out to us. We are there to help in case you run into any issues or you have questions about your specific use case. We are very, very, very happy to help you with that. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.